Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered! And today it's going to be a Gosu Gamers replay sent to me by Lazarus. Once again, he sent me a huge replay pack of games deemed Gosu by somebody, and has never failed to disappoint. Alright, so it's going to be Yayba versus HayprO here on Destination. Top side of the map is the Polish Protoss player. He is red. It is going to be Yayba. And in the bottom right, it is HayprO. He's a Swedish Zerg player, and he is teal today. So haven't been on Destination for a while, but a lot of these Gosu games happen to be on this map. A very common practice map, a very common map to play on back in the days. I honestly don't know when this was played, but I would guess sometime around 2008, 2009, maybe even 2007. But Yayba did end up taking first place in WCG Poland 2010 and third place in WCG overall 2010, which is pretty awesome. So, I mean, he's got a really good resume under his belt here. HayprO, another dude you've heard of and really enjoy. Hoping to get some HayprO fans in the chat if you like this guy. This might be the first time I've cast him on the channel. Interested to see what style of Zerg player he is. Is he aggressive? Does he like Zerglings? Does he rush for those Defilers? Does he like Mutalisks? All these things are very possible right now, and man, I like Destination as a map. I just do. I haven't been here for a while. It feels like a few weeks or months since we've cast a game. Been a lot of Heartbreak Ridge. Been a lot of Fighting Spirit, obviously. Circuit Breakers and the like. But Destination, feel like it's been some time. So good to be back with you, buddy. Yayba is going for a Forge Expand. Nothing too insane here on his side of the map. And that is a pool first play. So you're going to want to make sure you get a cannon down. Going to want to make sure you're ready to pull some probes as necessary if some lings start coming across the map. And it's this probe's job to see exactly what the aggression level is going to be out of HayprO. We do have, by the way, shoutcasts observing for some reason. I don't know, man. I don't know what these games are. Again, I just know that they are Gosu, and thanks again to Lazarus for sending me the pack, because it's fantastic. Also, quick plug. Whoa. HayprO goes for a hatchery over here. Takes the third base as his second hatch. And there is no gas, so this can't be aggressive at all. There's 6 lings on the way, so sure, but no speed means we're not going to be flooding with lings. It's just the 6 lings. You're going to try to do some stuff, and then I imagine there will be some droning up behind it. Although he is making some more Zerglings. So, I don't know, man. Maybe he's more aggressive than I thought he was. Interesting placement for that hatch, though. I think maybe he was trying to convince... Yeah, he was trying to convince Yayba that he wasn't expanding, but nope. You found your secret hatch up here, guy. Can't be hiding it from us at all. So cannon coming in, another cannon coming in, and once again, you got to be ready to pull some probes, depending on how confident you are in this situation. I kind of like it, honestly. This is some good placement by Yayba. Again, he was the best player in Poland back in 2010, so he's a pretty ridiculously great player. There are some good StarCraft pros coming out of that country for sure, and have been for a long time, including Mana, right? Who we love on this channel. So he is taking his natural as a third. I feel like these lings are just a waste at this point, man. I'm looking at this and I'm like, yeah. You're not taking down the Nexus. Is he just doing a run by? He's trying to run by. Ah, the probes. Okay, so 3 lings get in. So this is annoying, right? If this was Jaedong, this would be a lot scarier, but it's not Jaedong. It's not the greatest Zerg player of all time, so it's annoying, and you might end up losing a couple of probes here. And you do have to lose some mining time from time to time. But as it stands, it's not like 6 lings got inside. That would be just a disaster. So the cannons did their jobs. Lings really can't engage with this number of probes. Probes' shields really help them survive a lot of these hits from these Zerglings. So Zealot is pretty much just going to hang out in the mineral line, try to get some shots off on these Zerglings, and just back home. It's just HayprO working on Overlords. He's working on that. Actually, it's done. So he's got 3 bases behind this, which is honestly kind of amazing. And he goes for a quick lair. Wow. So no metabolic boost at all. Going for a quick lair, which I think is beautiful from him. Zerglings dancing on in. I don't think they've killed any probes yet. Yayba sitting at 19 probes at 17 drones. Again, the 3 bases is nice. I kind of like this build. I'm gonna be honest. You go for 8 quick Zerglings, something like that. Get across the map, try to do some stuff, annoy your opponent, keep them in their base. In the meantime, take 3 quick bases, get a lair, and then go for metabolic boost around 5 minutes. It's a really macro opening that's kind of hiding behind a super aggressive early Zergling opening. Which, again, if you can just keep your opponent on their toes here and super annoyed for all time. Oh! Lost a Zergling. That's a huge play. And scouting the Stargate while you're at it. Well, that's not a bad play here by HayprO at all. I'm going to get these players confused with each other for sure. HayprO and Yayba. Just Sweden and Poland. Relatively close to each other on the world map. So Zealot cannot get through here, right? This is a workers-only path, if I remember correctly. I don't think even Lings can get through. This back... Oh, this got mined through. Oh, alright. So the Lings are holding this. Pull back. Not pulling back. Zealot gets in. Took some shots. Lost some shielding. More Lings popping out to deal with him. And he is dead before he really accomplishes much. But I guess he does get the scout off. He sees the spire. He sees the lair. And he almost gets a drone. So not too shabby there. I do like that Yayba did manage to mine through these minerals on the back door. See, they're here up north, but they're gone. And only workers can get through there. I can't imagine HayprO did that to himself. You don't want more attack paths coming into your main base. I can tell you that much. Just the one is good enough. One is enough. Another macro hatch here too. It's just been so much macro. 29 drones. Working on that spire. He's going to have enough gas for a handful of mutalisks. Not overwhelming numbers of mutas here. The Corsairs are out. And you know what? This could honestly just be Scourge too. I always forget that a quick spire generally just means Scourge in the Brood Wars. So let's see what he does with the spire. It's like 41, 42 hits on that Corsair to take down the Overlord. But eventually does end up attaining the goal. And spire done. And production tab says nothing. Says Hydralisk done. Which, right? Fine with that, I guess. I don't know what these Lings are for. This is a lot of Zerglings. Making enough Lings to handle that Zealot? Fine. But making these Zerglings and just kind of sitting them up here outside the front door of Yayba seems like a bad idea. And a waste of resources. Corsair flying around, just trying to see what the saturation is on these bases and what the gas count is. And the answer is it's going to be a 2-gasser from the Zerg. He did take the extractor at the natural base. He's got a Hydralisk Den. He's got a Sunken Colony defending his front in case a ton of Zealots decide to show up. And now there are Scourge. And a Lurker aspect is being researched too. The Corsair needs to get out, but got that full scout that he was looking for there. Leg enhancements in production by Yayba. I don't know what about this game makes it Gosu, but we'll keep an eye on it. We'll try to watch for something like Dark Templar or Dark Archons would be pretty fun too. Did those Scourge just get killed by cannons? Is the Corsair alive, I guess, is the bigger question here. They might have actually got the Corsair. Nice job, Scourge. You got the Corsair. Exploding yourselves in the process, but that's what you do. Storm coming in. Yayba off of these 2 bases. Zealots pushing in. They have no attack upgrades or armor upgrades, but they are working on +1 attack, and it's almost done. Whereas HayprO is working on the +1 ground carapace. So basically, the Zealot can go anywhere. So that's why there are Sunkens in both the 3rd and the natural bases. Zealot's just trying to force static defense to be pulled up everywhere, right? You have to waste those drones on static defense in both bases with his positioning, which I really love. He just made a beeline for the natural. There'd be fewer static defense buildings here at the 3rd, but now there are 2 Sunkens, and they're going to do a pretty good job, honestly. Is he going? Yeah, this is a lot of Zerglings and 2 Sunkens. I don't think you want to go in there, guy, and he certainly does not. Hydra's in production. Lurker aspect still continuing, because that's a very long upgrade. Storm is almost done. So Yayba pretty much been allowed to do whatever he wants here, too. Robotics facility on the way. Dragoons in the mix, recognizing the threat of Lurkers. You do want Dragoons for that, although Zealots do fairly well once they've got their upgrades going. Yeah, 4 Lurkers immediately in production here from HayprO. Here at about the 9-minute mark. Oh, it is a DT out. All right. I like making a DT to get rid of these pesky Zerglings at your front door. No, you got to go further than that, guys. The DT has legs, you know. He's not stationary. He can follow you a little bit. So DT sneaking about with his permanence cloak on. Why are there drones up here? Probably because the rally's up here. Dang, HayprO made a ton of Zerglings. Dude, these could be drones instead. Overlord does not have speed. Is he working on it? Yes, Pneumatized Carapace is on the way. And just about done there too. So DT gets some damage done. Nothing too major. And they're going for what looks like a Zealot High Templar Storm style attack with some Dragoon support for the Lurkers. And yeah, that +1 attack is done for the Zealots, and they have the speed, and the Carapace is not done for the Zerg. Great Storm, though. Really, really good Storm, though. Has to use 2 Storms to take down that Lurker because they didn't bring detection with them, but Observatory is almost done. So detection is going to be a thing in the future. And +1 Dragoons. I was going to say take down the Overlord, but instead they don't. Are you seriously going all the way back to deal with this Overlord? Sure, why not? Trying to keep the Zerg player in the dark, but the Zerg's awareness is pretty good here. HayprO has Zerglings at each of the bases on the left and the right side. Wherever Yayba decides to take the third base, at least the Zerg player will have some inkling that it's happening. Queen's Nest on the way back home. Hydralisk, speed coming in here too. And I kind of like this, honestly, from the Zerg. I feel like he could have more workers if he didn't have a bajillion Zerglings that really haven't done a lot for him yet. But you know, sometimes you feel safer if you have a million Zerglings. I'm definitely one of those players. I love the split on these lurkers. You can't storm and hit 2 or 3 of them at the same time. No clumping. Zergling's going to get on top of this third a little bit. And accomplish approximately nothing. Good scout, though. They did see a Nexus is coming up. That is information that he didn't have previously. And Zergling trying to pick off these High Templar. They get one. And they're not going to get the other one here. DT trying to help his brother out. And he does manage to help, I think, a tiny bit there. Alright, so Zerglings not really paying for themselves at this stage. They are giving Yayba a bit of a heart attack, but HayprO could do better with the resources he has spent on these Lings. I'd love to see him have a lot more drones. Maybe closer to 60 or 70 at the 11-minute mark. That's what could be. That's what could be, except there's all these Zerglings that accomplished... I guess they killed a High Templar today. They killed a High Templar, which does not seem worth it for all the Lings that were created. So Yayba overall, I think, is in a better position, right? He's got 42 probes on these 3 bases, but that's fine. His army supply is huge compared to what HayprO's is. And a lot of the army supply for HayprO is in Zerglings. So I don't trust HayprO's ability to win this game at all. Let's see what Yayba can get done, though. Got a few Dragoons, not necessarily a lot of Dragoons. Ah, the Lings are trying to come up this way. But again, Yayba's map awareness today is disgustingly good. He just knows where the Zerglings are trying to go. Wipes them out. Shuts him down. But again, these attacks from HayprO are keeping Yayba on his back foot. He can't really move out if he's worried about Zerglings coming to wipe out his stuff. Although again, they don't have any attack upgrades. +1 melee is almost done. Lurker Spines are chasing the Protoss army back. The Observers weren't quite with the group there. And a couple of free Zerglings. And damage done is damage done here. Lurker count kind of getting insane, but I don't see any sign of a Defiler mount here at all. Alright, Overlord down does not supply block HayprO, but it's fairly close to doing so. And yeah, without Dark Swarm, these Lurkers are not as good as they would like to be otherwise. Lurker down, Lurker down, Lurker down. Trying to clump them up here. Great storm on these Zerglings! Yayba crushing it through right now. Oh my gosh, that was disgusting. With the storms, they were really good. Zerglings flooding on in against this largely Dragoon army. There are some Lurker plays here. The Observers are alive. They should be able to handle the Lurkers. Link count is insane. Zealot count is nil right now. An Archon does show up to try to help, but he gets picked off too, and the Lings do force this army back. Not enough Storm remaining. Not enough Zealots remaining. And despite that looking like a really big loss for HayprO, he does manage to shove Yayba back to the safety of his third base with his cannons. And I think that was a win for the Zerg. I really do. Protoss can win all the matches and all the battles in the middle of the map that they want. But what really wins them games is killing bases for Zerg and slowing the economy down, which he did not do. I don't think he's killed any drones. An Ultralisk Cavern's on the way, though. Ooh, and a Consume. Okay, so Defiler Mound is coming in from HayprO. I was kind of worried about him. Not going for those Defilers at all when he's been left alone for so long. But winning that engagement gave him the confidence to go ahead and drone up a little bit. Get a bunch of upgrades here. Getting transport for Overlord, which indicates some drop play, especially with this Ultralisk Cavern coming in. Another base on the way from HayprO, really keeping ahead of Yayba here today. The storms were just top-notch. They were just top-notch storms. Really enjoyed, though. The Zerglings are just 1-1ers. No, 2 Carapace now. So a little bit tankier versus these attacks. I think Yayba might... Well, he's taking the minerals-only base behind his main, which is the same thing HayprO did a while ago. Usually, I feel like this base is kept in reserve for emergencies, but these players seem really content to just take the bases as early as they want to and call it good. HayprO also trying to expand on the left side, which is technically... No, I think this is his side. Yeah, these Lings are just not going to do it. Dark Swarm coming up to protect the Zerglings from the Zealots. Nope. That might have been the most meaningless Dark Swarm in the history of Dark Swarm. I mean, maybe not the history of, but at this level of StarCraft, I'm very surprised that went down at all. Sure, it meant the Dragoons couldn't help out, but that was it. There were enough Zealots there to handle those Lings, as we saw. Another attack coming up. Dude, +3 attack is done for Yayba. Dark Swarm is up. Zealot's trying to hang on. Storm! Wiping out these Zerglings so dang efficiently here. Lurkers trying to hide in the Dark Swarm. The Zealots don't care about that. Archon comes in trying to deal with these Zerglings and blah, 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 blah. Blowing them to death here. The macro is kind of insane, though, from HayprO. He keeps flooding in Zerglings against the Zealots. The Archon is happily sitting on 12 kills. Another Archon joins the party. Overlords getting destroyed here a little bit. Trying to supply block the Zerg. These Overlords' deaths will not supply block him, though. And Yayba heading on back home. He is making 6 Zealots at a time. Honestly, the answer here for the Zerglings has got to be the Zealots with a +3 attack. And so far, it really has been. DTs honestly could probably get up here and wipe out this base if they wanted to. Yayba has got that going. I love this positioning on the top of the ramp. Once again, Archon Splash still affects ya. Archon moving back behind the Dragoons, but firing at them with that 3 range. What I feel like this game is a game where Yayba has killed so much more stuff than HayprO has, but is still ahead just because his macro has been so insanely good this entire game. 2 Ultralisks in production. Yeah, remember what I said about this base being dead? It's totally dead. Dark Swarm accomplishing nothing there again. And I mean, you could probably kill this Defiler if you wanted to, if you weren't so worried about the Overlord. There you go. Get the Defiler, chomp him into bits. That's the sound he makes when he gets chomped into bits. And the Scourge died too, without even getting the Observers here. So nice job taking a base down, but it kind of felt like an extra base. An extra base for HayprO there, but he has taken a base on the right side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Taking a 6th on the right side here. Yayba is taking his own 4th along that left little corner. That's a pretty easy base to defend here. Protoss taking it is fairly advisable. Anabolic Sepsis being researched by the Zerg. And we're 17 minutes into this thing. I don't see anything super Gosu yet, other than the use of Ultras, which I'm a huge fan of Ultralisks. I like them very much, and I just wish they had more utility, both in StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2. I mean, you do see them in ZVTs more than anything else in both StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2 these days. So it's not like they're useless, and not like they're never seen, but kind of wish they were more viable. +1 armor is done here for the Protoss. +3, +2. Looking good, and that 6 armor on those Ultras is serious business. Drop attempt, but into Overlords. Oh no, terrible drop attempt. All the Overlords die. I don't know how much Zerg was in there, but he's at 138 supply now. And he lost those Overlords that he's not supply blocked. So there's definitely supply in those Overlords. Zealots can hang on versus Ultras pretty effectively, as that Ultra does go down. Attacked from all directions here. Ultralisks attacking on in, getting stormed. Zealots trying to get to the front here. Dark Swarm coming up, so the Dragoons can't help against this at all. But the Zealots are really holding on at the moment. Did they get plagued? Plague did get thrown down on these Protoss units. They're not as tanky and strong as they used to be, but the Ultra's getting killed anyway. 126 to 103 total supply. Yayba is up strong and needs to keep pushing here. In production are 3 more Ultras. Some Lurkers going to join the party here too. 2 Sunkens are not very much of a match versus the upgrades we're looking at here from Yayba. Can he take down? Oh, the Observer gets sniped out by something. I don't know what that was. Oh, this poor Ultralist. That 4 Archon play with a +3 attack is so stupid good. These Ultras want to get out of here. Maybe not. Maybe they do want to get in. I guess there are 3 Observers remaining. This is really good Archon play right now. Really stupidly good Archon play. The positioning is great. The Dragoons are buffering a little bit for the Archon shots. Lurkers trying to get in, but there is detection available. Dark Swarm is up, protecting a little bit. Moves out of the Dark Swarm. The Ultras very happily obliged. And these Archons, man, 14 kills and 24 kills on these dudes, and they are still alive. More Lings are trying to come in to handle this. But I don't know about this. +3 Archons. I guess one Archon did go down. Another Dark Swarm comes up. And everybody is dead. But pretty darn solid attack there from Yayba. He's got another army ready to go because that is what we're looking at. From, again, the best player in Poland back in 2010. Good news for him is he hasn't lost a base yet. The bad news for him is he hasn't really killed anything major for HayprO. That right side base is coming up. That 6th we were talking about earlier. 5th base is happily sitting here too. Drone count is 57 and it's 56 probes. So it feels pretty even. Finally going for arbiters and some stasis, which is usually something we see in a PvT matchup, not so much in a PvZ style, but it's alright. We'll roll with it anyway. Zealots getting on top. Again, these Sunkens are a joke to them at this point. They were scary back when the Zealots had no upgrades. Now that they have all of the upgrades, though, all the attack upgrades anyway, things go better for them. High Templar does not have enough energy for Storm, or he would be storming right now. Look at him use the High Templar to block that off. That's so good. Hatch down. Drop it on in, though. A Ultralisk airdrop of the day. And Ultralisk's pinching in from the top side, too. Dark Swarm's up. I gotta love HayprO's use of Dark Swarm here, guys. I am really here for HayprO's Dark Swarm. It's helping. It really is. 144 to 134 supply. Another army here for Yayba. Not as big as the last one was, though. And we have some Archons coming in. Love the Archons. Love the Arbiter in the mix here, too. I am interested in looking at some of HayprO's achievements. Looks like it did take 2nd place back in 2014 in the Brood War Reunion Tournament. Here we go. Ultralisks coming on in versus these cannons. The Dark Swarm is helping immensely there. Ultras versus cannons is not even a fair fight at all. The Archons and the Zealots are trying to get up here to manage it. I think this base might actually end up going down. A lot of these probes are going to die. Some of the Ultra pathing, though, is super, super bad, too, as well. That Ultra surrounded by Zealots. This Ultra surrounded by Zealots. And yeah, Great Plague, once again, the Archons do not care about. Defiler's getting racked there, too. I guess I would say HayprO's biggest achievement, according to this list, is taking 1st place in DreamHack Summer 2008, where he 3-1 Straylock to get that 1st place. Not too shabby, guy. Straylock's a name we're aware of, the Ukrainian Terran player. So, yeah, I like HayprO. I like him quite a bit. Continuing to attack on in here. Once again, really wants to kill this base. Stasis going down on the Zerg units, kind of messing up the pathing of these Lings a little bit. Plague gets tossed down. Again, so much Defiler play today. Lings rolling up to Yayba's 3rd to wreck it. And by golly, they're doing a great job of it here, too. But he's going to lose a hatch in the process. Is he, though? Are there enough reinforcements coming in from HayprO to save the day? Seems like maybe. But at the same time, also maybe not. These Archons are just terrifying visions of death right now with their +3 splash attack. Right side base is still technically alive. Zealots are coming up to try to save the day. Archon in the mix here, too. Archon protected by the Dark Swarm from this Hydralisk. Oh, no, the reversal. The reversal on play right now. Since when do we see Stasis being used against Zerg? Maybe that's what makes this game Gosu at the 25-minute mark. Seems like a possibility. All right, so the hatch on the right side does go down. HayprO loses his 6th, but the 3rd base by Yayba almost dead, but almost dead does not count. All right, it's out. Too many Zerglings. Bam, sucker. Take it out. Take out that Nexus and get it. Get it while the getting's good. Plague, Stasis. Stasis Zerg units is hilarious. Overlord providing the all-important vision versus these cloaked Archons. Man, these Archons tearing through 15 kills and 9 kills on those guys. Scourge versus Arbiter. Not something you see every day, but they get the target. This is an insane game. I am really enjoying this. I hope you're enjoying it too. Hit that like button if you are. Just allows me to get more visibility when people search for Brood War games to look for, and it just takes you a second. Doesn't cost you anything. All right, man. Yayba, 130 supply to 97. which means the army supply is bigger because worker count is virtually identical. Just do the math, boys. Storming up his own zealots a little bit. Pretty good micro attempt here out of HayprO. Another plague, which again the Archons are not bothered by, but the zealots are certainly bothered by. Zealots have +2 armor now. I guess upgrades have been a thing for a while. What is this zealot? This Hydra trying to do stuff. Boy, this feels like some kind of weird hybrid game where the Zerg is playing ZVT and the Protoss is playing PVT, but there are no Terrans on the map right now. Perhaps they are confused. I don't know. HayprO never took this left side base again, which means it has sat dormant for some time. Yayba hasn't retaken his own third, which makes sense because there are Zerglings and a Defiler hanging out here. Yeah, HayprO wants to take down this top right base. It is providing a decent amount of support by way of minerals to the Protoss. And there's your Dark Swarm 1, and there's your Dark Swarm 2, and that is an evacuation from the probes. They need to get the heck out of there. Yayba, in retaliation, going to take this left side base at the 9 o'clocker. 133 to 109 supply. As Todd would say, look at the supply. So yeah, that Nexus is down, but again, I'm not sure how much it matters, right? Not many minerals left here, actually. Really close to mined out. This base is a lot more important. Oh, the Scourge, though! Oh, I thought the Archon saved it, but it did not. Seriously, though, this is like using Scourge against Science Vessels. He's got Dark Swarm. He's got Ultralisks, which you don't see a lot of Ultras here. This was the Reavers are for, right? In response, finally, to this Ling Ultra play, Yayba decides that it's time for Reavers, which you probably should have done about 5 or 6 minutes ago, but, you know. What do you do at this stage of the game? Oh, Reaver shots, though. Reaver shots! Stuck for the most part. Oh, they got a shot off on that Ultra. Doing, like, 0 damage almost? I feel like that was 0 damage. It certainly was. All right. Again, what balances Reavers and makes them not stupidly overpowered is the fact that sometimes they can explode and do no damage, and they get stuck behind things. So the glitchiness is what keeps them balanced. HayprO retaking that 9 o'clock base, or the 3 o'clock base, rather. Boy, my clock knowledge is poor today. These 3-3, yeah, 3-3 Adrenalings. We got the 6-3 Ultralings. Reaver drop gonna take out the 3 o'clock base real fast, though. One more shot, we'll call it a day. Let's go. Run! Run from the Scourge. That speed upgrade is oh so important in this situation. He cannot lose this, and he doesn't. The Scourge, abort and peel back. Woo! 4 Dark Templar in production here from Yayba. Holding on to this base is massive. Killing this base was massive. HayprO trying to take that as well as build on the bones of Yayba's old third. Seems like an interesting decision, but effectively does split the map in half. If he can hang on to that one. Again, how mined out is this? Surprisingly not as mined out as I thought it was. Oh boy, that's a lot of Ultras. Get on out. Where are the Reavers? Unload the Reavers. Get some shots off, man. These Ultras are so fast, though. Anabolic Synthesis is no joke of an upgrade. Storm, maybe? Yeah, this is the first time HayprO's really gone for a major attack at the front door of the Protoss, and this might explain why. It's really difficult to do. I guess the cannons aren't really figuring into this at all, which is totally fine. Zealots getting massacred here. I'm not hearing many Ultralisks die. Where are those Reavers? There they are. Reaver there. Big time hit. Big time hit. Big time hit. Doing some serious work here. Back behind. Oh, back behind the gateway. Chasing out. Exploding harmlessly because they're afraid. Scourge flying in. Going to get killed by cannons. Oh, they tried to get that shuttle, but not a single shot got off at all here. DT hammering away at the third base. There's an Overlord right here, but map awareness for HayprO is not super hot right now. 12 kill DT, bringing the drone count down to 33. That may have been it. That could have been the nail in the coffin as this DT wrecking house right now. I'm not sure where HayprO's attention is at the moment. It looks like he is setting up control groups to go for one more major attack here. HayprO is spending his money. He's trying to place his drones. Finally, the Overlord shows up. I was almost worried that this replay was glitched out, but The response is here. It's just insanely late after the 27 kill DT does his job. Archon Reavers making sure this base does not actually happen at all, in fact. Boy, these Archons, the pathing is bad. Nice Dark Swarm coming up. The Dark Swarm here by HayprO today has been elite level. Reaver shots. Reaver shots. Trying to get as many as they can. No, the Reavers are gone. The Archon is gone. The Hatchery does survive with a sum total of 162 HP. And it's 135 to 93. I mean, saving that base, I'm not sure it was enough, to be honest with you. Yayba struggling a bit here. We're making 6 Zealots at a time, still floating about 1,000 minerals. He needs to make another round after this one finishes as soon as possible. I mean, we're 30 minutes in. This gets tiring. At this level of high-level StarCraft for this long is really hard to do, but it's a 40 supply lead for Yayba right now. He has the upgrades. He's got the composition to deal with what HayprO is working on. Replacing these drones was a problem, but HayprO did it. He replaced them, and his Defiler play may very well be enough to get him back into this game. A Plague on all those Zealots would be massively good. Ready to go. Plague it. Plague it. Plagued it. There we go. Reaver! Big time shot in the middle of all those Ultras. There is so much chaos in this match. I'm loving it. Archons don't accomplish much there, I don't think. Oh, the army just absolutely crushes through there. Plague or no plague. Yayba gonna wipe out that topside base. Reaver's left alone. Oh, I guess the shuttles might have died there, though. So that Reaver is dead. This Reaver still happily also dead, but the Ultras are down. Defiler trying to join the party, but it's 134 to 74 supply. Right side base down, and there's nothing defending this 3 o'clock base at all. A handful of Zerglings got made, but that is it. And I think Yayba has got our victory here today, securely taking the 9 o'clock position, harassing the third 3 o'clocker into extinction. And that's it, friends. I really feel like there's nothing left here for HayprO. 56 supply. He's fighting as hard as he can. The Ultra getting surrounded by Zealots, which is his worst nightmare. 8 HP on this Ultra and 5 kills, and he is done. Handful of Zerglings coming on in. Just desperation Zerglings here from HayprO. He's sitting at 385 minerals in the bank, and that's your good game! HayprO out. Yayba is your victor here in 32 minutes and 36 seconds. Oh, I don't even know what that was. Oh, that was incredible. Really, really great game. I severely enjoyed that. I loved the Arbiter play. I loved the Scourge to counter them. I love the Reavers coming out. I love the Archons getting stuff done. 26 kill Archon. Archon's heroes of the day here, too. The Dark Swarms were disgustingly good and consistently on point, except for that one time for HayprO. But yeah, it's an economic game, and it always is here. This base went down for Yayba. This base went down for Yayba. But he was able to take these 2 side bases and really not have them bothered at all. I think a big turning point was HayprO trying to drop the main and flying right past these cannons he didn't know existed. That was problematic. Really can't be doing that. Got to scout on ahead, guys. See what you're dealing with. So, incredible. Let's check out that final score. What a match, though. What a match. I think it did deserve the Gosu tag. Thank you, Lazarus, again. APMs on average for these players, 217 for HayprO, 192 for Yayba. 865 units killed by Yayba. That is so much, and only lost 200. That ratio is insanely good. But look at the production. 1,000 units produced for the Zerg and only 300 for Yayba. I'm telling you, the macro is off the charts. It's a lot of Zerglings, in fairness, and they do tend to bring that tally up quite a bit. And constructed and rage doesn't really matter as much, but gas mined, yeah, 2,000 more gas mined here for HayprO. Minerals mined, 2,000 more minerals mined, and about 4,000 more spent, but this killed tab is what makes the difference there. The incredible cost efficiency of the Archons and of the Reavers and of the Storm and of the Zealots throughout that match was just something to behold. It was fantastic Protoss play, and that's why Yayba's the man. All right, well, that's going to be it for me today. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.